wait to take a look around your garden with you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, it's like I saw it on Instagram and saw your, I viewed it as kind of a gentle invitation to come and see the garden. And so I reached out and I said, I want to go see that place.
Nice. You took the bait.
This doesn't look like a new garden, really. It looks like you've been here for a little while. How long have you been gardening here?
We moved in December of 2021. So actually not terribly long. I think this probably should have taken about 10 years. But
you had a passion?
Yeah, exactly. So it took about 5 to sort of get where we're at. And even the back half was really only in the last few months. But nice. I feel like we're at a place where everything's presentable. So I'm feeling really happy with it.
There is no doubt about it. Why don't you tell me what you started with here?
Honestly, the first thing we did was build a fence all the way around, or at least on these 2 main sides. We just had, this is my neighbor's beautiful fence, but across there we just had like a 3-foot chain link fence.
Right.
And so it wasn't really fun to even be back here because it was just kind of on display. That's actually a road. So there used to be a giant 12 by 12 shed right here against the house. Which was very unsightly, and so we knew that had to go. And so that was one of the first things we took down, and this patio kind of followed to somewhere to actually spend time out here. So close to the house, so we could just come right out and
it's a nice connection there. That's really good. Really good. Is this something that you both pursue and are interested in? Is it like your garden, or do you guys share it? Or
it's mine.
Yeah,
I can get my partner to begrudgingly help from time to time, but it's taken about 5 years to learn what's a good thing to ask for help with and what's not.
Right. In my garden, sometimes it's like, I don't want too many opinions.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
No, there's a lot of trust in me from my partner, so that's helpful. It's just sometimes things are heavy.
Yeah, right.
An extra set of hands.
Yeah, I'd love to have an extra brawny. Before we get into the plants, I wanted to know how he actually makes decisions, because a lot of what works in this garden really isn't about the plants. I've now been in 3 different parts of your garden, and I'm really feeling that connection between them. And a lot of that is in the material. So talk with me about your material choices.
Kind of working outward with the fence, we went with kind of a darker color because the plants get set off against it really nicely. I didn't want to go black because the house is white and it felt a little too stark. So it's kind of it's my favorite color. I try to use it in a lot of projects. It's called mocha. It's kind of got brown and gray in it, so it really goes with a lot of stuff.
That's a stain?
Yeah. So it's held up super well.
And I like the stain, but I had worried about the frequency of the maintenance.
But I imagine we'll have to get in there in a couple years. Definitely. I think it matters how many coats you do. Picking one with more tint in it.
The grade of lumber.
We didn't do anything fancy there. It's just, it's not like clear cedar or anything. I didn't really want to introduce a lot of color. That's what the plants are for. And then the other hardscape we have in most places is the gold decomposed granite. Everything here it's kind of nice because it all just gets lighter and lighter with age. And so it really just kind of blends together. But rather than some kind of local pea gravel or crushed rock. It's just a little bit different and kind of provides that warmth. Again, just a backdrop for the plants to set off.
I'm seeing more and more decomposed granite in use out there. And when I was doing a lot of projects, it was kind of just coming on the scene. It wasn't widely available. And so now I'm seeing it out there. I really like the look.
I think this is the nicest looking. The cons are cost. It's the most expensive because it's still not that, it's not produced up here, so
but not, it's still brought in
from California, I think. And because it packs so hard, which makes it very functional, weeding it is not fun. Stuff really gets in there. And so if I had a client who was not really interested in a ton of maintenance, I wouldn't put it in.
It's a little counterintuitive to me in that I would think it's a little bit more impervious to the weeds getting in there.
Yeah.
Not true, eh?
Not true. I think with especially with the clean gravel like pea gravel or quarter 10, weeds might get in them. Really easy to pull them because
I've
it's
transitioned to quarter 10 in
loose.
some of my areas for that reason.
But it's kind of similar to quarter minus in the sense that if there's a medium that's really compacted and firm, that has a lot of room to root, and And then on the other side, it's very hard to pull the whole thing.
Right.
And
Okay.
long story short, it's beautiful. It's my favorite.
Yep.
I would not recommend it for people who aren't willing to
Yeah.
take care of it
It's
as much.
part of the conversation. One of many parts of the conversations that you have when you're helping clients decide the best path for them.
So this is a Tuscan Gold, it's called, from Smith Rock. And it obviously goes the best with this gold DG.
It's really beautiful. Yeah, really just very inviting. I like the connection between this living space and that living space.
Yeah.
And it's just a really pleasant space. I can't wait till you get your doors.
I know, same.
That's going to be, but
yeah, at
all
one point
things
I
in
was,
time.
exactly. At one point I was going to do more of the brick and some kind of stronger path, but this really kind of calls out to the area back there where we have the same palette, and so.
Yeah, no, I think this is perfect.
Yeah.
And from the again, going back to those interior views, I think you've set yourself up for a softer, more inviting view from the inside too.
Yeah, it makes you want to come and stop in front of the pond and check it out.
Yeah. I am wondering where you spend most of your time.
Yeah, I think the new deck in the back with the lounge chair is a pretty popular spot. Since the greenhouse was one of the first things that we built, that used to be the only place to sit that was at any kind of finished floor. And so I kind of have a soft spot for hanging out in there still. Yeah, in the summer, all the pots are, out where they go. So this is kind of our little chill spot and slightly utilitarian. All the cuttings that I take for fun are back here as well. Table obviously is where we're at for entertaining.
Right. You are a garden designer yourself, is that
Correct, yeah. So I have a design build business. It is just me. I bring in reinforcements when I do some building sometimes, whether it's part-time people or subcontractors. But I actually started out thinking I would just do design. And then my very first project, I was like, getting bids for the client, and I was like, oh wow, this is way more expensive than I thought. I'll just do it, because I do like to get in the dirt and build things. So I immediately was like, oh no, I have to do both. Like, not just because I'm controlling, but I just really love to get dirty and create. Being a contractor, if I do get into things that need engineering or permitting, like I'm able to shepherd that through if I'm not doing engineered drawings and whatnot. So. Technically, as a designer, I call my plans, conceptual.
Absolutely.
That keeps things on the up and up. But
and
I've obviously got the end game in mind as well.
Right.
So, I've built everything here, like the shower and the patios and the pergolas, and part of it's like this is my little playground to test things out, and so that's why kind of dialing this in was so important to me, just for the practical, experience, and try it out here first. So, and same with the planting too, obviously. Much of this is a test garden. Some of it happened by chance because I have things left over from numerous projects, and some of it was really intentional. And then I did it all over again each year for a while. But this yard versus maybe the front yard is feeling a little bit more curated at this point, and so happy with it.
Well, it's nice to have it's your little bit of a calling card, I would say.
Yeah.
In terms of it's really showing your skill as a plantsman, and your plant palette that you're drawn to, and the ability to actually put together really meaningful spaces.
Oh yeah,
with
thank you.
Really wonderful materials. What crossover is there between what you do here and what you do for in your client work?
Yeah, I think as far as like design philosophy goes, I'm obviously really into planting really full spaces, but in zones that feel a little bit more updated and modern. So, maybe blurring all the edges, but having spaces and hardscape that feels a little bit up to date, and but also as timeless as you can. That's always the balance, right? Like try not to make things too modern. But plant-wise, obviously it's client comes first, but as much as I can convince people to pick things that aren't fussy, that are adapted to how the world is changing, I obviously have a pretty xeric lean. I'm a California boy, although I've been here almost 20 years. So a lot of that palette kind of comes up with, the DG and the Mediterranean style planting. And so I do like to try to include those things, mainly because of what I consider to be low maintenance. You might not think it looking around, but I don't really have to touch most of these things but once in a year.
I often also get asked that. It's like, how much you must be out here all the time.
Right.
And it's like, my answer, I don't know what yours is I can be, but I don't have to be.
Yeah.
And it really depends on how kept I want the garden to look and how flexible I am.
Right. I think, the first few years you're maybe mulching every year until the plants kind of become the mulch. And so I think planting really heavily both keeps the soil from being compacted and drying out, but also keeps you from having to weed as much. And so I think it's kind of counterintuitive that the more you plant, the less you have to do, right? But yeah, I don't see a plant that I touch more than once a year. It's like sometimes there's a big cutback, sometimes they do their own thing and I don't touch anything. And I think that when people say low maintenance, it means something different to everybody when you're talking to a client. I think that's a good point,
yeah.
And for me, it's like, well, don't expect to never do anything, obviously.
Absolutely, yep.
For some people, it
low
means
maintenance
like,
is not no maintenance.
No, of course not. And for some people, that means like, I want it so that anybody could take care of it if I hire somebody to do it.
Right.
And that's where it gets trickier because
Agreed.
Then you have to teach people about fine gardening versus mow and blow.
Do you do any ongoing fine gardening maintenance for any of your clients?
Not as part of my business model, but out of personal interest.
It's like, I like this garden, I want to see it develop.
Yeah, so I'll revisit if I'm asked for sure, but that's no more than once a year even, like kind of similar to, like I said, it's like people say, do I cut this back, do I not?
Right.
If you're trying to shape hedges and keep a tree small, it's a little bit of a different story, but in general, people are talking about their borders, and it's like, no, I think the thing that goes beyond touching once a year is like deadheading. I don't do that.
No. You choose plants that don't really require it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And in some ways, if you deadhead it, you're not going to get the other effect that you're looking for, which is?
Yeah, the winter interest and the structure of the seed heads. And
the little bit of self-seeding is actually part of your your
that
scheme.
Too, definitely. That Scabiosa over there is my #1 reseeder, and I'm happy to let it do it. So
yeah, it's kind of a mingler, I would call that. It's It'll kind of weave its way.
You're not sure where it came from.
The plant palette that you have selected just melds so nicely with, your materials. There's definitely a flavor, a palette, and I'm just wondering what's led you here. What are some of your influence? How do you describe this palette?
Without trying to sound fancy, I usually call it like a modern Mediterranean with a Pacific Northwest twist, because there's stuff that does so well here you can't not include it. But like I said, I am from California. My blood's turned though 20 years ago. But I do love like the agaves and that kind of Mediterranean vibe. A little bit deserty, but lush. It's kind of like a lush desert, I guess.
The term xeric is, I don't think, captures this vibe.
Yeah, I feel like that makes you think like more negative space, like space between like more specimen things, and obviously it's like it's packed. It's funny, whenever my dad visits in the winter, there's a lot of evergreen structure, but he's like, there's so much space in between your plants. I'm like, do you remember what it's like when you're here in the summer? There's no more room for anything. Definitely like a lush Mediterranean situation.
Is irrigation do you have to irrigate this a lot, very little?
So it's on drip, which is, a really efficient way to irrigate. So less than, if I was doing it by hand or with sprayers. I think this year I'm watering much, much less than normal, like deeper, less frequent.
Because the garden's older?
Yeah, because most of the things are pretty established. I would probably not water it at all, except I add new things each year. So some things need a little help getting going. As far as like soil prep goes, like a lot of new 3-way soil, which is usually what I like to use because it's not too fertile. So it's compost, sand, and topsoil. Not super rich topsoil that has a little bit of the clay in it for retaining, moisture and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then the sand for drainage, and then the compost for getting things
organic,
going.
yeah.
And with clients, I don't really like to turn over their soil too much. The more we learn about soil science, the more you disrupt what's going on, it's harder for it all to recover. So I'll like spot amend things that need extra drainage. And if it's soil that's so bad, then just pick a different plant that can work with it, so.
You can't, as I've heard it, is you can't amend your way out of what you are walking into.
Right. That's what container gardening is for.
Yes.
Yeah. And we had a big giant Japanese maple, not right here, but close by, and it was a beautiful shape. We couldn't plant another one because the reason it died was the verticillium wilt in the soil.
Yeah, verticillium. I share your pain on that. I don't have any in-ground maples anymore.
Yeah.
So,
I have one in a pot. That's it.
Yep, that's how I'm growing them. This is a sweet little area.
Thank you.
I love a lot about it. Oh my goodness, look at this. There's a shower.
Yeah.
We'll show you guys this. This is awesome. Really wonderful, materials and workmanship. And,
Thank you.
But also the way that you've got it tucked in here. So what's your thinking on this? What is this space?
I think I mentioned we had like a large metal cover that really blocked the view from the house. Beneath it was a big concrete patio. I wanted to look right out into garden, so we ripped that out, kind of moved that hardscape over under the kitchen, put in the pond and this path. The ultimate plan here is that this is our bedroom.
I thought that was probably the case.
So we're wanting to put some a slider or some French doors here so that this becomes like an outdoor extension of the bedroom.
Yep.
And therefore also, why not an outdoor shower?
When I was doing a lot more client work, you go around, you get that initial assessment of a house and you see something like this and you go, oh, I've got something in my back pocket. That is a threshold waiting to be made.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really great. I mean, I'm really liking the connection between the interior and the exterior.
Both
what you've done and then what I see you're moving towards. That's really awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited. That's it's a big ticket item. So phasing is a thing, not just for clients, but for people at home as well. Kind of wanted to keep it really open. So as you notice, there's not four sides to it. When you're in it, you're just looking out at the garden.
No, it's wonderful. Over here, we've got that Arctostaphylos, which is going to be the wall for your shower. So I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
So that's great. So I'm trying to visualize it. There was like a shed here, which looking out, you would have been like, right there.
Yeah, right out the kitchen window where you're supposed to have your beloved view of something nice. It was just the broadside of a shed. So like I said, that was the first thing that had to go. And we wanted to have a place to sit out and eat and enjoy. So we built this patio first. I had lots of ideas of a big giant pergola. We just kind of settled on the arch as sort of a picture frame view for now. So it's really
I'm just now noticing that. That's really nice.
Simple.
We'll make sure we get a good shot of that because I love the I love what it's doing and I love that it's doing it simply.
Yeah, exactly. We just try to have something grow up one side of it.
It's a picture frame. I'm going to try and show our viewers what I'm seeing because I really get your what your intention was there because it's totally working. I love it. So I feel like we've come through a little bit of a division. There's that garden, and then there's this garden. So, which I love that division of space. There's obviously, when we were down there, we knew something was back there, but there was a really clear invitation. Talk to me about, and just a little bit about this space here. There's so much going on.
Yeah. So I think we worked a little bit backwards because the greenhouse kind of came first, and I knew I needed to site it somewhere where it had some shade in the summer, but light in the winter. So the deciduous trees on this side and the camellia is nice, again, for shade in the summertime. So that landed there, and I knew I wanted it to be surrounded and by plants. Again, very recently, this was still a dumping ground. This was kind of our last little spot. But I wanted from there to, have kind of a through line, but not have it be straight. So that's why the plants in this little area kind of scoot you around. And then the bird bath also kind of doesn't let you come straight to the point. You've got to sort of pick
You
it,
have to
pick a path.
pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
And this was always planned because it gets the best sun and it's the most private part of the garden. So
Yeah, it's nice to have different areas, and so these various places for people. You've got different. I count 1, 2, 3, 4.
it's 23 seats.
23 places for people.
Yeah.
Different size groups. Sometimes
Definitely,
it's an intimate experience. Other times it's like for
Yeah, these are more of the relaxed spaces for sure.
the transparency that I'm seeing and then also feeling is a really effective way to divide these spaces.
Yeah. Like I said, it's always kind of about the peekaboo, right? So I never wanted to like entirely close off most of the areas.
Beautiful. We saw this from the other part of the garden, and this was kind of that lure. Matter of fact, I'm looking back and I can see the house and the line of sight looking back this way.
Yeah.
And this is shady no matter what, right?
Definitely. And I think somebody probably had this in mind beforehand when they planted these cherry trees exactly where they are. Yeah. This is a brand new little green screen, so to speak, behind this thing, because this is my utility area back here.
Every garden needs one. And yours is very tidy, by the way.
Not always, but thank you.
This plant here, everybody's always interested in a narrow plant, evergreen. What you got here? Is that a...
this is Ilex, Emerald Colonnade, but they'll grow together here in a couple years and be a really nice backdrop, make sitting here feel nicer, and obviously
it'll be...
Yeah.
We want enclosure, right? We want... Here we got the ceiling, we've got a nice floor, and now you're working on your wall.
On my wall, right.
Really nice palette of plants through here. I see some that I recognize. Let's see. Which grass is this? Is this?
Sesleria.
Sesleria?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably my number 2, or in my top 2 favorite grasses, especially in designing. First it's evergreen. It also flowers. If you want to cut it back to rejuvenate it, you can. And it really can do with a lot of rough conditions. I have a whole section by the house that I've never watered, and they flower better than all the other ones that I have. So.
Well, and interesting. So that one's flowering, and this one isn't. So we'll make sure to show some flowers there.
I did. These ones have been in longer, and I did cut them back in the spring, and so
this spring.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I think that's why maybe
they've been looking that wonderful for.
It took them about a month. They came back.
That's not bad at all. That's a nice grass. In some ways, it looks a lot like carex, like Everillo.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I'm walking by plantings in the neighborhood, I go up and I got to look at it really close, and then I get it. And usually it's the flowers that help me identify it.
There's a couple like bluer colored ones.
So what I'm seeing here might be different varieties.
Yeah, this is the straight species, I believe. Okay. And then against the house, you'll check out some other.
Oh, I see the blue one over there.
Yeah.
Yes, nice. That's a really nice grass, and the fact that it's evergreen is a super bonus.
It looks just like this, yeah.
It's good weed suppression, I would imagine.
Definitely, yeah.
Does it self-seed?
I have not had it do that.
That is always a good thing to know about a grass.
Yeah, it's not like the steepas I have that seed the most, like the Mexican feathergrass and the giganteas will even do it. My favorite grass, it's done blooming, but Stipa barbata has these really, really curly feathered seeds on them. I just picked up a lot of those seeds because they corkscrew around and drill into the soil.
Oh, they do. They seed.
And ironically, the ones that self-seed do way better than any of the ones that I take so much care of.
They choose their spot.
Exactly, yeah.
Other things in the palette that are pretty. You have. How do you pronounce this plant?
I say Agastache.
Okay, Agastache it is.
Agastache. I also heard someone correct someone and say it's Agastache. So it's hummingbird mint.
I give people permission to I bungle botanical pronunciations all the time.
Sure.
And I think that's A-okay. So who knows what it's called, but I do like to call plants by their name, their proper name, so that when people are curious about a plant,
they don't get mixed up.
The plant that they're interested in. So don't be nervous about pronouncing it correct or not.
No.
Just embrace it. Eryngium, beautiful blue on that one. You got a couple of different varieties of that.
Yeah, this is the Eryngium planum. I don't remember exactly what that one's called. It might be, nope, I don't remember.
Sapphire. Sapphire blue or whatever is a really old variety. It's probably not that.
Yeah, it escapes me, but yeah, it's nice to have some that are a different size.
Yeah.
And I have some white ones mixed in, and then the rattlesnake master one back there that has like the agave leaves to it.
Yeah, very nice.
They're my like #1 pollinator plant, I think, in the whole garden. Like the one I have over there that's staked up because it's so big. It looks like the plant's alive because it's just constantly.
Lots of, even over here in the shady bit.
Yeah, there's lots of bees.
Lots of activity. So you have a Lobelia tupa back here.
Yeah.
Very cool plant, but I am peeking in there and I'm seeing that you have it in a pot.
Yeah.
Is that a design choice or is that a containment choice?
I think that when I bought that, somebody told me that it was tender, and I thought that it was going to be.
So it wasn't about the colonizing.
No, I thought it was going to be an annual, and lo and behold, it's been back every year.
So you do have some travelers in here.
Yeah, the milkweed I did not plant.
Oh, you didn't?
No, it showed up, but obviously it's the showy milkweed. It's, you know, the monarch situation. It's great for them. I thinned them out, but obviously, again, because of the, you know, wildlife benefit, I decided to leave them, and I don't think they kind of have a nice little
they look nice in there, and they are a good contribution. So what are some of your favorite plants in here that we haven't taken note of yet?
Yeah, I think these Teucriums, wall germanders, they're again like I feel like a slightly lesser known Mediterranean plant in that palette, and they look really nice with other Mediterranean plants like lavender. It's kind of a nice foil to the purple everywhere. Is that sort of, it's pink, but it's not like bright pink. It's almost like a purpley pink, and they're so nondescript that sometimes I forget I have them until they bloom, and that's kind of nice because they sort of fit in with other things well that way.
If I'm wrong, they do hold the ground in the winter in that they are evergreen, aren't they?
Yes, they are evergreen. Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, because through here, I don't know what.
Yeah,
so your dad was here and said there's a lot of open ground in winter. I don't tell him I don't see that. You have.
I will tell him you said that.
You've got grasses, you've got the Teucrium, you've got the hebe, you've got the yucca. This back there is what, a leptospermum? What is that?
No, that's a Lonicera.
Oh, Lonicera, yeah, I can see that now.
Yeah.
Lonicera? Yeah, I don't know what he was talking about.
I guess that GM disappears, and he's. And you know what? Not even this last year. It's stuck around.
Foliage will be constant. Your agave is constant.
The lobelia goes away, I guess.
Ah, there you go.
There's that empty spot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, actually, you've got a fair amount of, even if it doesn't, I mean, some of these plants, even if they don't look top shelf in winter, they have that other side benefit of they're covering the ground. Yeah. Which is really great from a garden
watering, weeding, and
maintenance standpoint. Which magnolia do we have here?
These are little gems.
Okay.
So again, they're looking for some privacy. We've got the wax myrtle hedge all along the fence, but when we got to the patio, I wanted to have something different. And so, I got 3 of those that will hopefully grow up into a little screen here.
This on the end is?
That is a, oh my gosh, it's my favorite.
Cupressus?
It's a Cupressus sulfurea.
Sulfurea.
So it looks kind of like the, what is it, blue ice or Arizona ice that you see a lot, but it's a little more green.
Yep. Yep.
A really lovely fragrance to it. I actually first learned about that when I went to a wreath making class.
Oh.
And it was one of the materials we could use for wreath making, and it just smelled so good, and I love the color. So.
I like the evergreen boundary, and one of the things that I like about it is you've really kind of mixed up some different foliage textures that look really good next to each other.
Yeah, the wax myrtle and the magnolia, obviously quite different contrast color and shape, and you know, a little more showier here by the dining table.
Some fragrance.
Yeah. Oh, love that smell.
Yeah.
And then a little more utilitarian and also native. This really is like the #1 thing I recommend for hedging to clients. Obviously, evergreen takes super well to cutting. Native, so it's adapted to a lot of different conditions, including some shade.
That view from this seating area is really wonderful. You have a lawn though also, so that's it's not a small lawn.
No. I think proportionally we just have so much planting that we needed some kind of rest for the eyes. Didn't want to go with a traditional lawn because I didn't want to irrigate it, and so we went with a mix called Fleur de Lawn Blanche, a mix of white daisies, clover, yarrow, and a few fescues, I believe. So summer is not its most wonderful season, of course, but
you got a lot going on. We don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need it, but it does not need any water for most of the year, and in the summer I pretty much just let it go. But what's nice about it is the clover is full of bees early summer, and most of the rest of the year it's almost a carpet of white daisies. So it's very, very pretty.
You've created a wonderful place. Is there, when you think about the garden and you think about sharing it with people, is there something that you hope that people feel when they come in the space, that they feel after they've had a chance to visit with you here?
Yeah, I think I want people to come here and explore. Like we said, I think there's 23 different places to sit in the garden, and most of them are for a small intimate group or just 2 people. And so when we do have people over, I feel like everyone kind of does their own thing, which maybe is part of my personality too. It's not like about a big gathering or whatnot. And so I hope that they find a little bit of peace in their own little corner. And maybe some inspiration to do something like that at home where they're creating smaller spaces in a bigger place, right? And so, yeah, just a little bit of peace and quiet. And maybe lastly, just not to be afraid to maybe overplant.
Yes.
You know, just be surrounded by more than you think.
Yeah. But if they need a little help, where do they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram mostly as Chambers Landscape.
Thank you so much for walking us through your garden. I can't believe that you haven't been at this for years and years.
Oh, that's very kind of you. I'm very happy to have you here. It's been fun to finally start having people over and feeling proud and showing it off, since we've kind of gotten to a good space for that. And so, this has been a joy.
Yes. Well, we hope to get an invitation back and look at how it progresses.
Absolutely.
Maybe take a look at your front garden.
Yeah, coming along.
All right. So thank you very much.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Bye. See you next time.
I inherited that hydrangea.
Yeah, it doesn't kind of look like you.
No. But it does a nice job right there.